The finale of Teach You a Lesson brings the war against Gyuchol to a dramatic close, but the episode's real message goes far beyond taking down a single villain. While Gyuchol's arrest delivers justice for Gaun and the students he exploited, the ending argues that the biggest threat to education isn't one criminal, it's a system that allows vulnerable students to be used and abandoned in the first place. One of the finale's biggest revelations is that Hwajin's assault on Gyuchol was never simply a loss of control. Throughout the previous episodes, it appeared that Hwajin's public attack had destroyed the Educational Rights Protection Bureau. The footage sparked national outrage, politicians demanded the agency's closure, and public opinion turned sharply against the inspectors. On the surface, it looked like Gyuchol had won. The finale reveals the opposite. Hwajin and the ERPB deliberately allowed themselves to become targets because they knew Gyuchol was waiting for the organization to disappear. The moment he believed the bureau was gone, he began expanding his drug network openly across Seoul's schools. By sacrificing their reputations, the inspectors gave him enough confidence to expose the entire operation. The plan was risky and costly, but it worked. The ERPB was never truly defeated. It was lying in wait. The finale makes it clear that Gyuchol is more than just a drug dealer. What makes him terrifying is his view of students as products. He repeatedly describes schools as perfect business opportunities because there is an endless supply of children, new customers arrive every year, and minors receive lighter punishments when caught. To him, students are disposable tools that can be exploited for profit. That philosophy directly opposes everything the ERPB stands for. While Hwajin believes schools should help young people discover their potential, Gyuchol sees those same students as resources to be consumed. Their final confrontation is essentially a battle between two completely different visions of what education means. The flashbacks finally reveal what happened between Gyuchol and teacher Choi Gaun. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of the revelation is that Gaun never gave up on him. Even after discovering evidence of his crimes, she wanted him to surrender and change his life. She genuinely believed he deserved an opportunity to become a better person. Instead, Gyuchol murdered the one person trying hardest to save him. The scene exposes the tragedy at the heart of the series. Gaun represented education at its best: guidance, compassion, accountability, and hope. Gyuchol responded to that kindness with violence because he viewed consequences as obstacles rather than opportunities to grow. His belief that being a minor would protect him from serious punishment shows how deeply broken his worldview had become. During the final fight, Gyuchol reaches his breaking point. After losing everything, he begs Hwajin to kill him. On the surface, this might sound like guilt, but the moment is more complicated than that. Gyuchol has spent his entire life avoiding responsibility. Even now, he wants someone else to decide his fate for him. Hwajin refuses. That decision is crucial because killing Gyuchol would contradict the very lesson the series has been teaching. Instead, Hwajin tells him that another chance is still possible, but only if he earns it. This echoes Gaun's beliefs from earlier in the story. She never believed in blind forgiveness. She believed people could change if they accepted responsibility for their actions. For the first time, Gyuchol is forced to face the weight of what he has done. His tears are significant because they mark the first genuine crack in the arrogant persona he has maintained throughout the series. Whether he can truly change remains unknown, but for the first time he understands what he destroyed. Although Gaun died before the finale, she remains the emotional center of the story. Her influence can be seen everywhere. Teachers choose to trust the ERPB because they remember her sacrifice. Gansok continues fighting because of her ideals. Even Hwajin's refusal to kill Gyuchol comes from lessons she taught him. The memorial scenes emphasize that Gaun's death was not meaningless. Her belief in protecting students and offering genuine guidance continues shaping the people around her long after she's gone. In many ways, she becomes the conscience of the entire series. One of the most powerful sequences shows teachers across Seoul quietly collecting evidence and turning over drugs to the ERPB. The moment matters because the series has never portrayed teachers as superheroes. They are often overwhelmed, under-supported, and afraid. Yet when Gansok asks for help, they respond. The montage demonstrates that protecting students is not the responsibility of one agency alone. It requires an entire community willing to stand together against abuse and exploitation. The ERPB may lead the fight, but the teachers become the reason the operation succeeds. Gansok's speech serves as the ideological conclusion of the series. He argues that education cannot be reduced to grades, test scores, prestigious universities, or future careers. Those things matter, but they are not the whole purpose of school. True education should also build character, empathy, integrity, and responsibility. This idea has been present since the beginning of the show. Every major villain in the series exploited power in some way, whether as students, teachers, administrators, or criminals. The problem was never simply bad behavior. It was the failure to teach people how to use power responsibly. Gaun's speech reinforces the show's central belief. Education is about creating better human beings, not just successful ones. After everything involving Gyuchol, it might seem strange for the finale to introduce a new bullying and extortion case involving a celebrated basketball player, but that final scene is actually the point. The series was never about one villain. Gyuchol is defeated, but the conditions that create people like him still exist. There will always be new abusers, new victims, and new situations requiring intervention. The ERPB's work is endless because protecting students is an ongoing responsibility. The ending of Teach You a Lesson argues that justice alone is not enough. Gyuchol is arrested, the drug network is destroyed, the students responsible face punishment, but the finale insists that lasting change comes from something deeper than punishment. It comes from education. The series closes by contrasting two philosophies. Gyuchol believed people exist to be used, Gaun believed people can grow into better versions of themselves. Hwajin and the ERPB spend the entire story fighting to preserve that second belief. That's why the final image isn't a celebration of victory, it's the team walking toward another mission. Because as long as there are people abusing power inside schools, someone will need to stand up for the students who cannot protect themselves. And that, according to the series, is the lesson that never ends.